right, welcome to the next installment of Star Trek Expedition. So just to kind of fill in those who may or may not be watching, I already filled the crews in, but the Tiananmen has been tasked with bringing the cargo ship back to the home planets. The cargo ship full of all the rescued individuals. The Galahad has been tasked with securing the research station outpost. And the expedition is currently towing the Ranger back to Deep Space 17 after the Ranger was attacked by Captain Morgan and the evil expedition, I should say. The Ranger having been fairly heavily damaged and needing to be towed because it cannot generate its own power at the moment. And I believe we'll start with the ship who's probably been going the longest. That'll be the Tiananmen. So we'll start there. I did forget to ask if everyone was here.
You're not here, sound off.
I mean, I see all the names in chat. Good enough.
All right. Guess we'll jump into it. Casey, could you give me a quick scan of the cargo vessel? I just want to make sure that everything's A-okay.
Of course, Captain. Is there anything particular you'd like me to look for?
You know, I still have in the back of my mind that it's not our technology. I mean, even though we've made some modifications to it, still a bit nervous. Yeah, if you could scan any of the technological systems, electrical systems, power, just kind of give me a full readout of the ship, please.
Aye, sir.
All right, we'll go Insight Engineering difficulty 1.
Sensors for focus. Sensor
Yep.
operations.
Yep, and then we'll go Sensors Engineering for ship.
Difficulty 1.
Yeah. Gain 3.
Seeing anything out of the ordinary, sir. All the holographic systems have been disabled and remain so. I'm still detecting about 2,000 personnel on board the vessel in addition to our 50 Starfleet crew on board.
Excellent. Thank you, Casey. Khan, time until we arrive.
Should be arriving at the first planet within the hour, sir.
Excellent. Okay, well, let's maintain smooth sailing and keep an eye out. I know we're one escort vessel escorting a rather packed to the brim cargo vessel, if I might say so. So we'll want to know if anything's awry and amiss sooner rather than if it's too late.
I'll make note that the first planet will be the Sylvian homeworld, the one you dealt with, um, Captain DeGrasse.
Okay.
You know, the one that reminded you about the protection.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
And then the second world, I'm trying to remember what I called them. I believe that would be in a captain's log, right? Perhaps you wouldn't happen to have the name of that of the peoples you dealt with offhand, would you?
I think he just stepped out.
Again.
dude. Yeah.
Trying to go through logs, but I'm not sure if they mentioned it. You know, these were the ones that captured Captain Prax.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Oh, and tortured your kin.
Ah, yeah, that's right. Uh, Out of curiosity, whatever happened with that? I'm assuming he rested up and healed up in sick bay.
Yeah. So I think Captain's back. Captain, you wouldn't happen to know by chance who the race you were dealing with a few weeks ago were named, would you? I'm trying to look at your logs, but I'm not seeing it. There it is, the Ur. And then I guess second question would be that would be why. The second question would be where is um, the child of DeGrasse at? Is it on still on the expedition or is it on the Tiananmen at this point? Or somewhere else? All right, so that answers that. So you could do whatever you want with that, actually.
It's okay. So how old was he? Was he like teenage years or?
I'd probably say young adult.
Okay,
And look, in appearances. Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
young adult.
Yeah, in that case, I would assume hopefully we have the capacity to set him up with his own quarters. Um, so yeah. All right.
Yeah, I mean, your ship's a scale 4. You should have extra space.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, I'll note that, for later use. But obviously, we're on a mission right now, so
I mean, if there's anything you wanted your medical people to do between, between the stops, space is long. Or I guess I should say space is big.
yeah.
You won't believe how mind-numbingly big it is.
Do you mean specifically in regards to my son, or just in general?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So
actually,
you could have ordered them to do something, and I could do some rolls if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I'm sure that the expedition sickbay would have performed thorough physical evaluations as a result of, just this healing process and things. So I'm not too worried about that. But I'm sure DeGrasse, having understood the trauma that he went through, being tortured, um, would have probably ordered like consistent psych evaluations and psychiatric treatment. So yeah, at that he'll lean over to the ship's doctor and say, uh, "Cassie, how's my son doing?"
Good GM.
Give me an insight medicine. We'll make it a diff 2.
Spending a momentum. Psychology for a focus.
Yep.
Rerolling comp.
Nice.
Gain 2.
Perhaps this conversation is best in your ready room.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Lead the way. DeGrasse will stand up. Cassie, I was hoping it was all good, but we're in here. I'm assuming not.
Um, there is some psychological damage from being tortured, along with other mental issues that would be starting to. For, I'm blanking on the word. However, I'm noticing there is several mental and even some physical impairments that are not due to the torture.
Say more.
It's unclear if these impairments are genetic or a result of what I'm assuming. Is she aware of the stuff, or
I don't think so.
However, your son came into being. It's hard to say what sort of impairments they are.
So we know that he's impaired in some way. We're not sure exactly the bounds of those impairments. Is what you're saying? Like what they are?
I'll have to do a full genetic makeup on him, which hasn't been done yet. At least from what the expeditions doctor gave us.
Okay, well, you of course know what's best in this situation, so I defer to your judgment. It's nothing that would present a danger to the ship or to this crew, right?
I doubt the individual in sickbay is capable of doing anything at the moment, given their state. They were beaten pretty badly.
Between you and me, Doctor, I'm still suspicious. It's just hard to wrap your mind around, It's always been a struggle for me to have a family out here, and what little relationship I've had. Her being on even on board this vessel, it's one moment's almost nothing, and then the next moment I have a son. And for what purpose? Like, I don't know. I still maintain. I'm still suspicious, to be honest. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But to what ends would somebody create a clone, right? Like,
Well, it's not technically a clone. Genetic, from the genetic scans already conducted. And all terms for biology circumstance, he's your son.
and I don't suppose we know who makes up the other 50% of the genetics.
Um, I can attempt to do a database search on the other 50%.
As long as we're not violating any protocols or regulations, I would appreciate that. When he comes to, I want to make sure that I'm emotionally prepared to be there for him. But also, I just want to make sure that there are no doubts about whether we can trust somebody, whether I can trust him. Sorry, doctor, I think this might have turned into a therapy session for me at this point. He'll kind of chuckle. All right. Well,
Given what he may be, Captain, he set aside the fact that he is your son in some ways. He is a individual who has been tortured, beaten, and otherwise in need, and he needs our help. Perhaps focusing on what is in front of you rather than what is behind you.
Thank you, Doctor, for putting it into perspective.
And
Well,
GM, this character has insightful guidance. I would like to roll to create an advantage for him.
Sure. What does it say the role would be?
When you assist, or it's only doing it for social conflict. That's actually it's another talent that does that. So never mind.
Alrighty then.
Prax, we can get into an argument if.
No. It's whenever I
I'm
assist
sorry.
you with a social conflict.
I see.
I forget. There's another talent that is for counselors only. That I got confused with for a second. This actually gives you like a free advantage.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, so DeGrasse will just say, well, thank you for the advice, Doctor. But if you would mind seeing to it, I'd really appreciate it.
I'll run his genetic sample through the database of what's known. We may get lucky and we may not.
That's fair. I won't hold you to any results in this unusual circumstances. So let me know if you need anything.
She nods and gets up and exits the ready room.
All right. What we will do though is while the doctor goes work on that, we will have the Tiananmen arrive at the Sylvian colony. Entering the Sylvian system now, Captain.
All right. Casey, would you mind giving us a quick scan of the system just to make sure everything's safe?
Yes, sir. Everything looks clear, Captain.
All right, Khan, take us to the planets and move us into orbits. Ops, signal what we're planning to do to the cargo vessel to make sure to keep close eyes on him and, well, we'll give it a sec before we hail the homeworld.
I believe that is who you dealt with.
It is, yes.
Captain DeGrasse, you have returned.
Governess Grace, we have. As discussed previously, we've rendered the aid that we could to your civilians as per the treaty between your world and the Federation. In fact, the cargo vessel that we've been escorting should contain, hopefully, all of the civilians that have been stolen from your world.
Do you have a manifest so that we may cross-reference with those we know are missing?
GM, I assume that's been built, correct?
Yeah, that is something you have.
Awesome. We do, Governess. We'll send that down shortly. And DeGrasse will order ops to transmit that to the planet.
All right, I have one of your ops people send that down with a control engineering, Diff 2, assisted by the ship's communications engineering.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, if it's an engineering role, Johnson, would you mind taking care of this?
No problem, Captain. And, yep, you said Diff 2?
Yep, control engineering.
Give you a threat for one? Should I?
I do enjoy threat. Gain 1. Thank you, Captain. We have received it. It looks like all of our people are accounted for.
Excellent. Well, can have the cargo vessel begin transporting your civilians down to the planet's surface. Just tell us where you would like to receive them.
Sending coordinates now.
Excellent. We'll coordinate the transporting to the surface, and governess, we'll let you know if we need anything else. Just let us know if you need anything as well.
Thank you, Captain, and thank you for upholding your end of the agreement.
A pleasure. It's always in the Federation's best interest to ensure that we keep our end of bargains. Cinnamon out. If you wouldn't mind sending the coordinates over to the cargo vessel and asking them if they need anything to begin delivering the civilians back to the homeworld.
Transferring coordinates now, Captain. GM, do they need anything further, or are they good to transport?
Sending you something.
Okay.
A lot of spelling errors. My I apologize. Typing is not a thing that's happening tonight, apparently.
Captain, it looks as though the cargo transport has received the coordinates and they're capable of transporting everyone just fine.
Understood. Thanks, Johnson.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, everyone, I'm not sure that there's anything else for us to do except play lookouts.
All right. We will head over to the Galahad, so you guys can see how pretty the bridge looks, and get some role play with a few familiar faces and some not so familiar.
Only two of them are familiar. So what exactly is our mission? Like, we're just...
Securing the research outpost that was raided last week.
Okay, so...
the big battle that the expedition Tiananmen were in.
Yeah, so, like, just taking prisoners, basically?
Yeah, taking prisoners, looking for intel, etc., etc.
All right. Who's playing who?
Well, I'm Nadal.
Yeah, the two of us have a character.
Well, I had a question. So I never got to really answer it. Can I put Medjot on the hill of him? Since
yeah.
you said I could.
Yeah, you could if you want.
And
It's a totally a matter of personal preference. I just wanted to extend that Mendrot, Pearson, and Nadon could come back for the episode if they wanted.
yeah, I
Or
mean,
come back. Yeah.
sure, why not?
Now we gotta find your character.
Yeah, I saw him last week. Now I can't figure out where he is.
Oh, I found them. They're under side character.
Oh, okay, yep.
I don't know who you have slated as the engineer here. Is it this guy?
Nope. Tavina, the Vulcan.
I'm going to ask this in this way, Casey. Would Casey have asked Pearson if he wanted to come back?
Yeah, he doesn't have any grudge against Pearson for what happened on the with the last expedition. Pearson was like a big ally of his, so in the trial and that.
Okay.
I would imagine yes, but I'm not sure what happened with your character in the.
He was stationed on Deep Space 17, so yeah, he would have. If he
Probably would have jumped at a chance to get on a ship again.
oh yeah, big time.
So yeah, in that case, you can knock Foster and Tavina off my characters, because place them, and I guess that leaves whoever wants to pick up the first officer and security character.
You could just delete whoever's been taken over. I'd figure I'd just place everybody on the bridge for now.
Yeah, I can't delete sheets, but
Well, just whoever's tokens are being replaced.
oh, I see.
If any.
Nope, this is everyone.
So I can take either one. I'm happy to.
Just you and Prax without characters, then I guess.
Prax, what do you think? Do you want first officer or security?
It doesn't matter. I'm trying to go through and open up the characters real quick because you can't see them. So
Oh, gotcha. I don't know. Prax, do you like high or low?
feeling high.
All right. High would be first officer. Low would be. I don't know. All right, you got high.
So I'm the first officer.
Think so.
The only lore I made for her is that she's an old academy friend of Casey's. That's the only background. All right, now that that's sorted, Commander Sverdrup, the security team's almost finished with collecting the prisoners.
GM. GM, how is our security teams doing?
Ooh, I'll send you something.
They're just wrapping up, sir. They are bringing the prisoners now on board.
Very well. Commander Thasson, if you will, let's see if we can identify these people. If they have any, perhaps, verifiable Starfleet service records, or if that particular paper trail has been erased. That Commander Thasson is the security chief. I don't know if the sheets became available yet.
On my end, it looks like
Oh.
most sheets have everybody except for a few.
Yeah, I think I can see everybody. Yeah, sorry, Casey. I thought it was Vera Huang um, at security. So,
He's just a supporting character.
oh, gotcha. So yeah, I'm sorry, Casey. You ordered Dassen to do what?
Just to try and actually let me adjust his character. Yeah, Lieutenant Thasson, if you'd take charge of identifying the prisoners, just to ensure that we have any IDs available for them, and perhaps some of them may have verifiable Starfleet service records, although I wouldn't be surprised if that paper trail has been erased.
Absolutely, sir. And then,
All right,
yeah.
this will be a reason or insight with con or command. I'll give this a difficulty 2, complication 2, assisted by the computer's command.
So you said insider reason, Connor command.
Yep.
Complication 2. Wow. Yeah, it looks like Thasson has a total of 11 for his highest stats for that.
But you were ordered, so.
That is true.
What was the roll?
Well, yeah. So the roll's in the Roll20 chat.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, I didn't build him for that.
No worries. Yeah, he has bold security. All right, this could be challenging.
I mean, it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Top two set. All right, yeah. So take a threat and then I guess 2 momentum. So I'll roll 4 dice. See his value. Nope. I'll just try this. So. Hey, I got it. 1 complication though.
How much momentum did you spend?
I
2.
spent 2, so
And then we do need the ship's computer's command.
yeah, I think we're gonna squash that complication.
Just trying to see if you get a. All right, you gain 1.
I believe it was a squash. So the 1 gain and 1 spent.
Yep. Have fun with that.
Cool. Let me give a quick read through. Uh, Captain, I found a few puzzling issues with some of these officers. Looks like multiple oddities in their service records. Some appear to have been stationed on ships that never existed, or at least didn't exist in this century. Others have incomplete training records. Others have IDs, but no records at all.
Well, perhaps we'll have to commence with interrogations then. And once they're all gathered and sorted, start from the highest ranks, move our way down.
Understood, sir.
Let me clarify a little something for you.
Sure.
Gotcha. Oh, I must point out, sir, it looks like most of the personnel are civilian and do have extensive records. So the majority can be accounted for, but the IDs of many of the officers, they do not look complete or even accurate, sir.
I see. Well, once you're believe that the prisoners are settled in enough, please commence with interrogations and keep me apprised.
Understood, sir. I'll actually see to it right now. And Thassin will get up and then yeah, he'll proceed down to wherever they're being held to begin the interrogation process.
We'll just kind of draw a makeshift rig here. Believe that's who you're playing?
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, so Thassin will walk up to, I'm assuming, the, whoever's highest rank in this situation. Would that be security or engineering?
Probably one of the security officers.
Okay. Thassin will walk up to him and just say, and how are the prisoners?
Oh, so that is a prisoner, sorry.
Okay.
We'll do this.
Sounds good. He'll turn to Huang and say, how are the prisoners, Ensign?
Physically, they're fine, sir. Only a few got minor bruises from the engagement, or minor injuries from the engagement. But none of them have said anything.
Ensign, I wouldn't mind if you acted as backup in this. Keep a close eye on the prisoners. I'm going to start soft, but progressively become a little more aggressive if they continue not being forthcoming.
I copy you, sir.
So this is, I'm assuming, the civilian on the left?
Yep.
Okay. So Casey's orders were to start from the top and work your way down. So Thassin will approach the highest ranking security officer.
And he's a ensign.
He'll walk up to him. Name and rank.
Ensign Leandrew.
Well, Ensign Leandrew, how long have you served in Starfleet?
Roughly 10 years, I'd say.
10 years and still an ensign.
Haven't had the best track record, sir.
And why is that, Ensign?
Believe my last commanding officer called me a bit of a screw-up.
Wow. It's very self-aware of you. Ensign, to communicate that to me.
Hey, this was a lot better posting than my last posting.
And what was your last posting, Ensign?
Security on Starbase 80.
Assuming that was rather boring.
Do you know Starbase 80, sir?
Not very familiar with it, no.
Is quite possibly the worst assignment ever in Starfleet.
Need to watch that show.
You do. It's a
Sepassin will look at him and say, so these are prisoners from the evil expedition, right? Or are they from the station?
no. These were on the
On the
yeah,
planet.
the station.
Oh, the station planet.
On the station, yeah.
So, how did you find yourself aboard the station, Ensign?
When I was offered a different posting other than 80, you better believe I jumped at the chance. Babysit a bunch of scientists. Pretty cushy.
Can't argue with you there. Guess it turned out to be not so cushy after all, huh?
I don't get involved in the politics, sir. I just go where I'm told.
But you do know why you're here.
Not particularly.
Ensign, am I to believe that you truly do not know what you've been involved in?
What's your character's rank, by the way?
I think he's a lieutenant commander.
Commander, as an ensign, do you remember all the things that your commanding officers did?
It's a fair point, Ensign.
I'm just a lowly security guard working on the bottom decks of the station.
Who offered you the position, Ensign?
I don't know, some admiral made the arrangements. Said I'd been handpicked.
Ensign, surely if an admiral made the arrangements for somebody, not to be demeaning, at your rank, and not to be demeaning again, with your self-stated service record, wouldn't you find that unusual?
Sir, you've never heard of Starbase 80, I take it. Anything is better than that.
Not asking if it was better, Ensign. I'm just surprised that you wouldn't remember some details about the admiral who made the arrangements to get you on the station. Am I to believe that you were just in your quarters one day, somebody walked down, said you're going here, and then you packed your bags and left?
To get off of 80, you better believe that's exactly what I did.
Ensign. And so on the station, you were simply a guard, simply doing your duty. Do you remember any details about what you were guarding?
Some lab.
Do you remember hearing anything about what happened at this lab?
Hear about it? No, but I see them bring in civilians in and out all the time.
Civilians, did they look different? Did they appear different at all when they left this lab?
Well, I could tell you they weren't any of the races I'm familiar with.
What did they look like?
And he'll describe the people that have been rescued.
Did they look distressed at all after they had been in this lab?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe as in yes, and he'll lean into the ensign.
I mean, sometimes they had to be stretched out.
This didn't strike you as unusual.
I mean, maybe, but I don't exactly know what they're researching there. For all I know, they could be trying to find some cure that these people are suffering from.
He'll turn to the other security person. Name and rank.
Sorry, coughing fit. Crewman Hall.
Well, crewman, would you consider yourself more curious than the ensign over here?
Not at all.
And I assume that you had the same posting as the ensign?
I didn't work in the ensign's section.
What section did you work in?
Shuttle base security.
You'll walk over to him. Tell me about what you saw, crewman.
Shuttle goes in, shuttle comes out. Engineering takes a piece here and there to fix up the station.
GM, can I assess if these guys are trying to hold back and play dumb? Or whether they're truly this unambitious, non-curious, and stupid?
Give me insight command. Diff 2.
Not my best roll. Jesus. Do I have anything for this? This is a stretch. I don't suppose you would take negotiations for a focus.
No.
Okay. Fuck, does he have any? Oh, sorry. Does he have any values? Can he spend a determination against mission directive?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know if he should be doing this.
It's where the captain's orders, so I'll give it to you.
All right. All right. Yeah, he's not an inside command guy, so. With that, he'll just roll his task roll, see what he gets.
Good thing you used it.
Yeah, seriously.
So what was your question?
Basically, are they just playing dumb, or are they just really this dumb? All right. Getting frustrated with these two as security officers. Well, not officers, I guess. But he'll walk over to the engineer. Name and rank.
Specialist Tico.
Well, Tico, I hope you have more to tell me than the other two over here. What were your duties aboard the station?
Basic repair and maintenance of the EPS systems.
Are you good at your job, Tico?
Fairly good, I think. I mean, my performance reports have been okay.
What was your posting before the station?
USS. I'm trying to think of like a very crappy ship name. USS some Miranda class ship. We'll go with that.
Okay. I just want to take issue with Miranda class being a crappy word, so, but we'll move past that. Sathasin will ask, and how long have you been in Starfleet?
About 3.5 years.
Okay. Could you tell me anything unusual that you saw during your service on the station?
Lots of power I thought were diverted to the labs. But I guess if you're running a research station, then that might not be too unusual.
Well, based on your experience, well, let me ask it this way. Were they moving through a lot of power materials? Were they burning circuits left and right, or were they just normal repairs that you were making?
Depends on the day, really. It comes and goes. Sometimes we'd be burning relays seemed like every 30 minutes. Some days wouldn't burn any for months. Or for weeks. Sorry, weeks.
Were you aware of anything regarding the experiments that were happening in this lab?
Just a specialist, sir. I really don't know what they were doing there.
Understood, specialist. Who is heading your department, specialist?
Lieutenant Slate.
GM, would Thassin remember Slade as being part of the manifest that he reviewed for Casey?
I'm going to spend a little bit of threat here and say Slate was not on the manifest of those captured.
Okay. So Thassin thinks he sees where this is going. He'll walk over to the civilian. Civilian, what is your name?
Iro.
Well, Iro, what were you doing aboard the station?
Oh, not too much. Every station needs a kitchen.
Assassin will sigh. And were you at least heading this kitchen? What were you doing in this kitchen?
Oh, you know, people come in, order their food. I bring it to them.
So you were wait staff in this kitchen.
Yeah, you could say that.
He'll turn to Huang. Are these the best options that you have for interrogation?
Sorry, coughing fit.
No worries.
I mean, those willing to talk, it seems.
He'll walk up to her. Get back to me when you have people worth talking to. He'll brush past her. Don't waste my time. He'll head back to the bridge.
All right, where are you heading back to?
Yeah, Fasten's frustrated and annoyed, but he'll head back to the bridge to report back to Casey.
All right.
Oh, nice. I've never seen Avatar, so
Oh my god.
should.
Blasphemy.
It's classic.
I guess it's next on the list after Lower
Just
Deck.
get Paramount Plus, then you'll have Star Trek, and then you have all the Nickelodeon shows.
Right.
Actually, it is on Netflix now that I think about it.
It is.
Score.
That's where I watched it.
Lower Decks is awesome. I've only seen the first 2 seasons, but I love it.
So at least you understand where the Starbase 80 reference is
Yeah, I
coming
was
from.
about to
I've
say,
also
like,
seen Lower Decks.
I felt like I should have gotten that, but yeah. So yeah, Fasten will walk onto the bridge in a huff, and he'll walk up to Captain. Captain, I'm ready to report back on the interrogations. I don't know if you would like to head to your ready room or if you'd like me to report here.
Well, did you get anything from them?
Captain, and he'll rub the bridge of his nose. These may be the most unambitious people I believe that I've spoken to in a long, long time. Captain, I
Interesting.
think
I would
that
have thought our friends in this diabolical plan would be a little more clever.
well, if these are any indication of the quality of this operation, surprised they were able to execute as well as they did. I don't believe that I got anything useful beyond the fact that we had an ensign with a service record of 10 years. Guards who...
Lord, I only graduated 12 years ago.
I wouldn't have believed it myself. A civilian who was in the kitchens, didn't notice anything. Crewman on guard didn't notice anything. Beyond the fact that they were apparently extremely unambitious and uninspiring, I don't think I got anything, sir.
If you believe it's a dead end, Commander, I trust your judgment.
I expressed to Ensign Huang to let me know if any of the others are willing to talk, sir, but I don't think it's fruitful to continue interrogations of these prisoners.
Very well, Commander. Thank you for the effort, regardless. He'll turn to Mendrog. Mendrog, did we gather all of the computer logs from the station?
GM? Did we have all? Everything that was not erased, sir.
Very well. In that case, I believe we've done all that we can here. Commander Sverdrup, if you'd like to pick a dozen personnel to leave aboard the station to hold down the fort until a permanent replacement crew can be sent.
Yes, Captain. I'll get on that right away.
Once the team is established on board the station, we'll head back to Deep Space 17 to unload our prisoners.
All right, what were the orders?
Send a dozen personnel over to the station to man the station or basically keep control of it while we go back to Deep Space 17 to unload the prisoners.
Already. So with that, we will go to the expedition. So the expedition has been towing the Ranger back to 17. I'd say you're probably about halfway there.
Commander Lawrence, what's our ETA to 17?
Uh, 12 hours? Wasn't sure of the travel, so we'll say 12 hours. About 12 hours, Captain.
Very well. Any word from the Tiananmen on their current endeavor? I feel rather bad to put Captain DeGrasse in, well, the fire a little bit. Well, at least with one of the species.
Believe they just made their first drop off, Captain.
Which one?
The Sylvian? Sylvian homeworld, I believe.
Well, at least the easy one's out of the way.
Well, it has to be more exciting than towing a damaged vessel.
Fair enough. Well, we've taken a few licks ourselves. Just be glad when this is all over with.
I do have to say, Captain, that was mighty impressive. The engagement with that sovereign.
You learn a thing or two when you're in command of one, especially her weak points.
I'll say. Treated those shields like they weren't even there.
It's a shame, though, that Captain Morgan didn't eject his warp core and surrendered. I would have looked forward to his second trial.
Well, sometimes, Captain, some people deserve what they get.
I wouldn't say it about his crew. I wonder how many of them truly know what was going on.
Suppose that is a valid point.
How's she holding up, Wagner? I just took a bit of a scuffle in that engagement.
I'll run a quick diagnostic just to verify that the situation hasn't changed since the last time I checked them.
Let's go insight or reason con. Difficulty of 1.
Insight, com, diff 1. Okay.
Gain 1.
Wait. So, how is it?
God, I can't type today.
That's fine. I can read it. Captain, the port engine is a little suboptimal. We're compensating though.
I'll make note of that for the repair teams at 17. I'm sure Commander Krim here would be welcome the engineering crews to beef up certain supports too.
Well, they're basically going to have to repair the entire shuttle bay too, Captain.
She's a tough ship, though, wouldn't you say?
That she is.
I will have to apologize, Commander Lawrence. Didn't mean to throw you in the fire there.
Not at all, Captain. It's quite nice to see what this ship and this crew can do under pressure.
We'll have to get to know each other a little better. Perhaps when we arrive at DS-17, we can grab a bite to eat. Discuss old war stories.
I look forward to it, ma'am.
Captain, I'm detecting a odd energy signature coming from near the DS-17.
Analyzed. Krim, boost up the. See if you can't boost up the sensor details.
I'll see what I can do, Captain.
All right, so for Krim, we're going to give you an advantage creation here. Control Engineering, Div 2.
Uh, uh, let's go on ahead and give you a threat, I believe.
So much threat.
Oh. That's weird. Target wasn't 3, I know that. And I only rolled 2 for some reason. I think that's 3 successes.
What's your Control Engineering score?
I think it's like a 15 or something like that. I don't even have my sheet pulled up right now.
Let's see. What did I say? Control Engineering? So yeah, it's a 16. So yeah, it would be 3 successes. If you wanted to roll 1
All
die
right.
for your...
Yeah, let me see if this will work. Yeah, there we go. At the 19, it's not a success.
All right. Yeah, you gain 1 momentum. So yeah, you successfully boosted the sensor gain. And then DeHaas will have you roll Reason or Insight Science difficulty 3, assisted by the ship's sensor science.
Is it reason or insight? Okay.
Which I believe would make it diff 2 with your advanced sensors.
And sensors roll focus?
Yep.
Okay. Um. Hmm. I'll go ahead and give you a threat. 3 dice. Nice.
So gain 2, I believe.
Captain? Can't be for certain, but I think the energy signature might be a weapon. It's a little difficult to tell.
Open hailing frequency to DS17. Go to yellow alert.
Obeying hailing frequencies, Captain.
Expedition to Deep Space 17. Please come in.
There's no response, Captain.
Repeat friendly transmission.
Aye, Captain.
Any response?
Still no response, Captain.
Lieutenant Wagner, if we dropped the Ranger, how much speed could you give the expedition?
With the engine in its current condition, bear with me a moment, Captain. I'll run some calculations. And
Go to
I
red
will.
alert.
Approximately warp 8.5, Captain. Maybe a little more, but we couldn't sustain it.
Signal red alert. Lieutenant Bedden, drop the tractor beam on the Ranger.
Yes, sir. And Spedden will drop the track beam.
Lieutenant Wagner, increase speed to best maximum speed to Deep Space 17.
Aye, Captain.
All right. You drop the ranger and you increase your speed towards 17. We'll enter a new scene. We'll head over to the Tiananmen. So you are currently heading to the planet Ur. But in the meantime, I believe Cassie was doing some research, some tests.
Oh yeah, Cassie was looking at DeGrasse's son's the other half to see if she can't find who the technically mother would be.
Okay. Let's make this a reason medicine. I'm gonna make this a difficulty 4. Mostly because you got to cross-reference stuff with other outside databases. But you could be assisted by the computer's medicine.
You said Diff 4?
Yeah.
Will you take the determination spend? The mind can heal just as well as a scalpel.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to give you 2 threat and spend 3 momentum.
That's 6, so gain 2. And then Chip's computer's medicine.
Sorry about that.
Oof.
Squashing with the 2 gained.
All right.
Sickbay to Bridge.
Bridge here. What is it, Doctor?
Could I see you in sickbay for a moment?
Certainly, Doctor. I'll be right down. Commander Rail, you wouldn't mind taking the bridge?
Good thing, Captain.
Ross will proceed to sickbay.
Let me get you to a sick bay. I think this one would work.
That's not DeGrasse in the.
That's mini me on the thing.
That makes sense.
That's giant me. Yay. Okay. So yeah, DeGrasse will walk in, just kind of give a quick glance at the bed, and then walk up and sit down at Cassie's desk. Did you find anything, Doctor?
I did. I can tell you. There is some information I can tell you, and some information I can't tell you for legal reasons. What I can tell you is that he has been genetically spliced together, taking your DNA and mixing it with a trill, a cryogen frozen trill egg cell. I only found this out because there was during my research, a leak, or well, let's say a leak, a fertility clinic had their eggs stolen on Trill. I believe this is where the location, or where this particular one came from. The name does check out of who the individual was had stored there.
And I suppose the thing that you can't tell me would be the identity. Okay. Well, thank you, Doctor. I appreciate you looking into it.
I will have to contact the other, technically the mother of the other half. Whether or not she is willing to, or agrees upon talking to you on the issue is another matter.
I understand. The frozen egg was stolen, and they would have had to have gotten my DNA from somewhere.
Starfleet keeps DNA samples of everyone who serves.
Huh.
It's used in case of an emergency to cross-reference, but they would have to, it's only data. It's not actual genetic material. They would have to encode it in some other manner.
So it would have been possible for them to access a DNA database and synthesize my DNA that way.
Possibly. I'm not aware of any Starfleet technology that is capable of doing that. other than using a transporter, but that's only used to cross-reference and with the actual original subject. Essentially to rule out any genetic mutations that would form during transport.
Well, again, thank you, Doctor. And I appreciate you reaching out to the mother and seeing if she would be willing to discuss this.
As for your son, he is currently sedated, but he is capable of being awakened if you wish to speak with him.
Yes, I would.
The doctor nods as she gets up, walks over, grabs a hypo spray, loads it with the correct inoculation, and heads over to get ready to wake him. I will remind you, Captain, that this may be as jarring experience for him as it is for you.
Understood, Doctor.
Are you
All right, sorry, my mom called.
No worries. Yeah.
you good?
Yeah, I'm good now. So what I miss?
Just reminding the captain that this is going to be a jarring experience for him as it is for the other or his son.
Okay.
And she places a hypo against Mini DeGrasse and wakes him up.
There used to be a hypo sound. I don't see it now. Oh yeah, so you inject the hypo, and Mini DeGrasse eyes start, doing the fast blinking thing. He starts waking up.
Relax. I'm Dr. Kazi Obutan. You're on board the USS Tinamin.
No, and he starts trying to squirm to get up. Must get to work. They'll beat me.
Just try to relax. No one's going to harm you here.
So he stands up. No, must clean, must work.
She motions to the nurses to kind of counter, make sure he doesn't run off. What's your name?
Must work. Must get back to work.
What's your name? What ship are
Looking
you from?
kind of confused when you ask him about the name. No, must get to work.
DeGrasse will just, not quite a yell, but forcefully just say, stop, like that. See what he does.
Give me presence command if 2.
Yeah, take a threat.
Gain 2. Hearing the authoritative voice, he stops in his track and becomes silent.
He'll lower his voice. We'll need to ask you a few questions. You don't have to work. Remain calm. And he'll turn to Cassie. Brax, yeah, I'm gonna let you lead this one because I assume a trained psychologist is probably better in this situation.
She carefully walks up to I understand you're very frightened. Why don't you sit down and we can talk?
But if I don't work, they will beat me.
Who will beat you?
My crew.
Your crew. Well, I assure you that no one here will hurt you. The captain here won't even let that happen.
But the last one did.
Who was? Do you know who he was or she?
Morgan.
That. She just looks at the grass I don't know if she would know. You're safe here. You don't have to worry about this Captain Morgan. He's not here. This is Captain DeGrasse.
That's right. I'm in charge of this ship. You're currently on board the USS Tiananmen. You won't have to worry about Captain Morgan. Tell me, what do you remember besides having to work? Can you tell us anything?
They said I was defective. They said only use for me was to clean.
Were there others like you?
Yes, but they not defective.
And if you weren't so defective, do you know what they would have asked you to do?
I would be crew.
Crew aboard the ship.
He just shakes his head up and down.
GM, if I remember right, I think the doctor told me he'd basically only been alive for like, what, maybe a couple weeks at this point? Like a pretty short time, right?
Maybe a few months.
Few months. Okay. I knew it was accelerated. Well, it's okay. You can take a rest on this ship. Calm down. There is no work that you need to do.
But I must work, or they find me not useful.
I have a device that needs to be put together. Do you think you could help me with that?
Yes, I will be useful.
And she's gonna go over and get like a essentially like a puzzle box to kind of for children to see what like mental acuity. Essentially putting it together and see if they can figure it out.
So you hand them the box, and it takes them in a very, very long time just to get some of the basic sequences.
Does he seem to calm down at least?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, you could tell that they're really trying to get it, but
Yeah. Us will walk up to Cass. Cassie, can you see to it that he's entertained and calmed as much as possible? I think there will be time for further questions later. I don't think he's in any condition to be experiencing any pressure or answering any questions from.
I think it'll be a while before he's ready to answer any questions.
DeGrasse will. Yeah, he'll just turn and silently walk to the bridge.
Great. Any role play you want to do on the bridge?
From DeGrasse's perspective, I think he's just gonna enter the bridge and then, yeah, he's just gonna be very shook up and silent and just sit down in the captain's chair and try to work.
Captain, we are now in the ore system.
Sorry, Casey.
We're entering the ore system.
Uh, Thank you, Casey. Let's hail the planet.
Seem they're hailing us, Captain.
On screen.
Comes through audio only. Starfleet vessel. We detected that you have our people aboard that transport. We expect you to the returnum this instant.
Well, you're in luck, because that's our exact intention.
Has the person or persons responsible for the theft of our citizenry been brought to justice?
From what we can tell, yes. However, we're still conducting a full investigation to determine the extent of what happened here. But seemingly the immediate person in command has been dealt with.
I have your word on this.
To the best of my knowledge at this moment. As I said, we're still conducting further investigations.
Tell your Captain Prax that will we not be seeking an injunction against her.
I'll happily relay that to her. Do you have a location for your personnel?
As I wait for the message to go across the ocean.
Location received, Captain.
We expect our people released within the hour.
We'll get them there as soon as we possibly can. And no faster. Do you need anything else?
They just cut the transmission.
Pity, because I was hoping to cut it first. Helm, take us in closer. Casey, keep our eyes out based on our past interactions with these people. I'm not sure that we can trust them fully.
Sure.
So I have a question. How long has Alan been with DeGrasse?
Probably at least 6 months at this point.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Would it be reasonable to assume that he has learned the captain well enough to know that something is off?
I would say everyone on the bridge probably knows something is off with how DeGrasse was speaking just now. Very uncharacteristic.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna wait for a second, and if the XO doesn't do anything, Alan's gonna talk to the captain for a second.
I'm waiting until we're not in an active situation. As soon as things are calmed down, I'll ask the captain to have a word in private.
Captain, the transport ship is saying that all the passengers have been unloaded.
Thank you. Ops, let the Aura know they have their civilians.
Received back one word, Captain. Simply acknowledged.
GM, remind me, what are the orders after we transport the civilians?
Probably rendezvous back at 17.
Okay. Helm, lay in a course for DS-17.
Aye, Captain.
Not sure we're on a time crunch, so safe warp level. Don't punch it too hard.
Aye, sir. Course laid in.
Engage. He'll get up and walk to his ready room.
So I'm going to ask the next senior officer to take the bridge for a minute and buzz at the ready room.
Let me get you a door chime.
Enter.
I'll come in.
Feel free to control your token.
Standing over here so he can order me out if he wants to. Captain, are you all right? You don't seem like yourself.
Having a bad day, Commander.
What do you need? I can watch the bridge for you.
Well, in an ideal world, Commander, it would be nice to know how and why I have a son, why he was tortured, why he feels the need to constantly be working under threat of pain, and why the word Morgan came from his lips. Sit back in his chair. I'm sorry.
No apology needed.
Commander, are you aware of the history that I have with Captain Morgan?
Where he was the last captain of the former expedition.
Well,
That's about it, Captain.
he is the reason why it is the former expedition. He's been responsible for so much death and damage to the point where it makes me question how a fleet could promote him into a position where he had any authority over anyone.
Fortunately, no fleet's perfect. Powerful friends will get people farther than it should. That would be my guess.
Commander Rel's Bajoran, correct?
Yes.
Well, Commander, tell me how they would have handled someone like Morgan on Bajor.
Frankly, it would depend which faction and when you were. In the Cardassian era, he probably would have been well liked by the occupiers. The faction I used to be with, he wouldn't have been given a chance to get back on a ship, let's say.
Well, you know, in my professional life, I'm always going to uphold the highest ideals of the fleets. But in my personal life anymore, I'm wondering if your faction may have the right idea. Be given multiple chances to cause this much harm to sentient beings. Over and over again.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, living up to your ideals is never easy, but in my experience, it's always worth it.
Thank you, Commander. I want you to know that given the current situation, I may be grappling with a few personal issues, as you can imagine. For the time being, I think it's best that you take the bridge until I can center myself and stop being so emotional.
Of course, Captain. Would you like me to call in the counselor?
I would like that very much. Thanks, Commander.
And I'll, while I'm in there, I'll call up the counselor to the captain's ready room, and then take the bridge.
To be the doctor.
Yep. Or the doctor, I guess. Sorry. How relatively small the ship is.
Doo-doo-doo. Door chime.
Oh, right. Door chime.
If it plays.
It does.
Answer.
Captain.
Doctor? I've effectively relieved myself from duty for the time being.
Why don't you... She kind of motions for you to... Why don't you just take a seat at this sofa? Your sofa.
Going Freud. I love it.
If there's anything you need to vent out, feel free to do so.
See, I always secretly wanted to have a family. And it just never happened.
One of, for some, viewed as a sacrifice, being in Starfleet. Others viewed as a regret. I'm assuming this is, you regret not starting a family.
I do, and I know it's emotional. Rationally, I know that I would have always continued my professional career. Well, to be honest, I didn't know if I wanted to make the chair or not for a long stretch of my career. And under the command of a captain I trusted and as part of a crew that I really respected, I figured if family wasn't going to happen, then I would throw myself into it. What else would I do? There was always that lingering, nagging feeling. Always stayed with me.
Well, biologically speaking, it's easier on a man to start a family later in life. That being said, you would have to make the time, figuratively speaking. Try to balance your work, your professional career, with your family, or at least the family that you want. Need to push yourself.
I understand that.
Is there someone special, someone you've cultivated a relationship?
She's
Yeah.
actually on board, Doctor. When I took this posting, I offered and she came.
Is she aware of your feelings?
She is, and we've been trying for about 6 months.
Then maybe perhaps when this is schedule yourself maybe for some joint shore leave. Chance to cultivate your relationship more.
I'll take that into consideration, Doctor. But I think my bigger question is, appears I have a son down in sickbay, and I don't know how she'll react.
Don't dwell on the what ifs. However she reacts, it's her decision. The only thing you can hope for is a positive outcome in it. You should tell her and at least be forthcoming. You know, relationships require trust. Revealing that information to her would help cultivate that trust further. She may value it.
Doctor, has anyone told you that you're an optimist?
I'm a betazoid. We're always optimistic.
That's fair. And do you think there's a chance for him to recover?
Professionally speaking, I think I would have to conduct some neuroscans, but I don't think his neural pathways are fully developed.
But emotionally?
Emotionally, he's more or less in the mental state of a young child. He may never develop more from that.
All right, Doctor. Well, thank you for your time.
I know it's not great news, Captain, but I think in time he could overcome the trauma and bounce back. It's just he needs to be in a positive environment. One that may not be suited on a starship, but there are great facilities back on Earth, even on your homeworld Trill, that could help in this matter.
Thank you, Doctor. Please do what you can in the meantime, and I'll be down to visit him and check on his progress.
Captain, if you need to, talk with a friend whom you trust.
I think I have somebody in mind. And we'll just say, thanks, Doctor, as she walks out. And yeah, as she walks out, DeGrasse will get on his computer and start looking for those facilities that the doctor mentioned.
All right. All right, we're going to head back to the expedition. And actually, this is gonna be for all 3 vessels simultaneously. So just imagine all of your characters amongst various ships are receiving this. So got to send this to a proper person.
Captain, we're receiving a distress call from DS-17.
Put it through.
This is Admiral Nea to all ships within range. Deep Space 17 has been destroyed. We are requesting all ships within range to please respond. I repeat, Deep Space 17 has been destroyed. All ships within range, please respond.
Krim, see what you can do on the engines.
Aye, Captain.
All right. And then on the Galahad's bridge, the same message as plays. You know, at the end, I repeat, Deep Space 17 has been destroyed. All ships, please respawn.
Commander Sverdrup, is our teams established on board the station?
I'm assuming it's a yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Captain. We have established a preliminary defense team on the station. They're currently holding operations at the moment.
Very well. Ops, acknowledge the signal. We will be responding. Lieutenant Nadan, see if our long-range scanners pick anything up in the vicinity. They can verify this. Ensign Dot, plot course and engage at maximum warp.
Aye, sir. And your ship enters warp.
And Nidon will do the scan. We're too far out, Captain. I'll continue scanning at regular intervals until we get within range.
Very well. All hands prepare for action.
And then finally, the Tiananmen Bridge. As I'm sure the captain walks out, you overhear the last part. I repeat, Deep Space 17 has been destroyed. All ships, please respond.
Helm, how far out are we from DS-17?
About 12 light years, Captain.
Plot a course.
Course plotted.
Let's turn to the commander. You have the bridge.
Hi, Captain.
We'll
Do you want me to let you know when we get there?
Please do. But for now, you're in command. He'll walk to the side.
Chair. And order the medical bay to prepare for casualties, as well as ordering security to pull together plans. Disaster response and recovery plans, in addition to reviewing battle plans.
All stations are acknowledging, Captain. Or Commander, I should say.
Yeah, I don't have that extra bit yet. Wait.
Course plotted, Commander.
Engage.
And then finally, back on the expedition.
Commander Krim, what's the stats of those engines?
With all the damage that we took to them, Captain, they're running as good as I can get them. I'd say probably warp 8. 8.5 at the most.
Well, do your best.
Captain, I'm detecting a large unknown ship dropping out of warp, weapons charged.
Red alert. Or red
They're
alert.
firing, Captain.
Brace for impact.
I'll do evasive actions.
All right, before any of that, oh dear God. In one blast, the ship fires upon you. You're able to raise your shields at the last moment, but the unknown ship and its weapon completely tear through your shields as if they weren't even there, hitting your starboard nacelle, completely severing it from the edge of the ship. Engineering then reports, engineering to bridge. The warp core is going critical, sir. I can't keep it under control.
Frax turns to Krim. Eject the core.
Working on it now.
As Krim starts to work on the warp core, a few of the power relays on deck 13 explode, violently shaking the ship.
All hands, prepare to abandon ship. Krim, what's the stats of that core?
What's the difficulty, GM?
Hold on.
Captain, it's already at Cascade. It's gonna blow. There's nothing I can do.
All hands.
Ejections are fused.
All hands, this is the captain. Abandon ship. I repeat, abandon ship.
As you give that order, main power turns off, and the ship is rocked from another secondary explosion, this time on deck 6, sending the ship into a spin. Luckily for you, you're able to right yourselves and start making for the escape pods. I need everyone to give me a fitness, security, or con, difficulty 2.
So, dumb question, but
Someone look
does
at my
combat
speed.
maneuvers apply?
No.
Okay.
Someone look at my speed. I think that's a 13 for me.
And I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is a roll you do not want to fail.
I would be advised. Can you spend determination on mission directive for this one?
Yeah. Definitely you can.
I will spend my determination.
Same here.
And I didn't need to, okay.
All right, Wagner, you gained everybody 2 momentum.
Ben would also like to spend his determination.
Yep.
Against
Spend
the guy
away.
who's big fan of living, which I think is
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Finally. So yeah, since it's a security roll, take a threat. Survival for focus.
What's that?
Survival for focus.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You said you're giving me 2 threat, Gabe?
Yeah, just one.
Well, you'd have to give me 2. Unless you use 1 momentum, 1 threat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, 1 momentum, 1 threat.
It doesn't matter, you gained 4, so I believe you're +1. I'll ignore yours, the Haas, because it's not even the right attribute.
Oh, I didn't change it when I clicked it anyway.
Because it's you rolled the reason, it's supposed to be fitness.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. So I'll spend my determination mission directive as well. And I don't have any focuses, I don't think that will apply. I'm Cleon. So today's a good day to die.
Do you hold on? Since you're Klingon, I gotta look at your stuff now.
I'm half Cleon anyway.
Oh, you do have it. I'll give you an extra determination to Haas if you try to eject the core yourself.
Sure.
It will mean that you're staying on the ship.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be pretty hard. When do you want me to roll for that?
I mean, you just get it.
Oh, okay.
You know what? No, because I already said that it's fused and he can't do anything. If I had told the
Yeah.
engineer that, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
So never mind.
Alright.
I was trying to do that play on your things, but that's a bad one.
Is it just me that's left to go?
Yeah, I think so. The Haas gains 1. Crim, wait. Crim still needs to go unless you rolled in.
I rolled I rolled in Discord. Luckily, I used my determination before I rolled, so I have 2 successes, but I'm going to have to spend 2 momentum to quash a comp.
Okay, yeah. So you're down 2 momentum there.
Dahoskian wants to rip 5.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna spend my determination. Mission directive.
Yep.
Because even with security, I'm rolling a 11. Which I get the 2.
You gained 2 anyway.
Did everyone like on the bridge make it off?
Yeah, I'm gonna give everyone basically. Oh, one final roll. Give me a presence command diff 3. Comp 2 to ensure that the rest of the crew are able to get off in time.
Okay. You said difficulty 2 or difficulty 3?
Difficulty 3, complication 2.
Okay. Take a threat.
Presence command.
This is it. Yeah, take a threat for bold. Rolling 4 dice.
Got there.
Oh, would he be taking composure for a focus?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll give you another momentum.
Yeah, gain the momentum because the 2 would have hit.
Yeah, so everyone's able to quickly respond. That being said, you probably do lose a handful of crew members who were in critical spots when they exploded. But for the vast majority of the crew, they got off the ship. And so, yeah, we're going to go to Theater of the Mind at this. As you and the crew are floating around an escape. As off in the distance, the expedition succumbs to her cascade failure, and you can spot her explode through your view screens. Or sorry, through your view screens. I was going to say windows, but I'm not sure escape pods would have those.
They have a window at the door. If I remember correctly, from DS17 or from DS9.
So those looking through the window in the door will see it blow up through the window. The rest of you on your pod screens.
I'm gonna note that every expedition that's blown up is because it's been narratively blown up. Just a note.
That is very true. DeGrasse, do you like high or low?
When others go high, I go low. My motto. Oh, uh-oh.
Captain, in your escape pod, it is being hailed.
She puts it through.
My, Captain. I'm sure you bet that this is a surprise.
Should have known you escaped that fiery destruction. I guess it's pretty easy for you to leave your crew behind. So what? You gonna pick us up clean while we're in these escape pods? Helpless?
Oh no, Captain. I wouldn't stoop that low. But if you excuse me, Captain, I am needed somewhere. Enjoy space. I sure hope you passed those escape pods rather nicely. Better than what you left that old ship of mine on with.
Oh, you were in command long enough to refill the supplies.
No matter, Captain. You blow up one of my ships, I blow up one of yours. Although now I am in a vastly superior ship, I recommend you not come after me.
Well, what they say is it's not the stick that makes the man, it's the man who makes the stick. And she cuts the communications.
And we'll head back to the Galahad.
I've been doing scans lately. Have I detected anything yet?
Oh, I'm sending you that.
Captain, the expedition is under attack. Bearing 149, Mark 36. I detect weapons fire.
What? So soon? Red alert. Prepare for imminent action. Mendra, can you give us anything more with the engines?
Certainly, Captain.
Give me daring or control with engineering, diff 2.
So, one four.
Yeah, I'll take warp core.
Okay. You said diff 2. It's spend the momentum. Don't die.
Gain 2. You're able to squeeze more out of the engines, you think?
That you do it, Captain.
I knew you would. Lieutenant Atkins, please pass along this information to the Tiananmen. The situation seems to be escalating.
Sure thing, Captain.
Your orders, Captain.
Proceed to the expedition. Or last known coordinates of the expedition.
Aye,
If
sir.
they're imminently under attack, perhaps we can do something with them for them.
Aye, sir. Course laid in. Engaging.
Captain, I detect a warp core explosion.
Can you identify the source? Was it the expedition?
Yes, Captain.
He'll just sort of put his face in his hands. Is the expedition closer to us than Deep Space 17?
Yes.
Okay, then it makes sense to head there still first.
Because basically, the expedition was within a couple light years of 17, and you're probably at least 7 from 17. So it'd
Right.
really be on your way.
Yep.
So then we'll head over to the Tiananmen, where you just received the worded communication from the Galahad about the attack on the expedition.
In terms of geometry, where are we in relation to them?
8 light years, maybe?
Okay, and are they on the way to
Yes.
this? Okay. All right. Helm, plot the closest course towards the expedition. We're going to render aid on the way there.
Aye, sir. Adjusting course. Engages impulse to make the turn, and enters back into warp.
Rail to Captain DeGrasse.
DeGrasse here. What is it, Commander?
I thought you would want to know the expedition is under attack. We're going to render aid.
Understood, Commander.
It's on the
Please.
way, so.
Please let me know when you know more.
Sure thing, Captain.
All right, back to the Galahad. We're going to speed up plot it. We're going to drop you out of warp right in the vicinity of the warp core blast. I have something to send to Nadon as soon as you get out of warp.
It's another ship leaving into a slipstream warp drive.
Are they within weapons range?
They're already in warp, Captain.
Like quantum slipstream, you said?
Slipstream warp, yes, Captain.
I believe that's what it has, right, Prex?
Quantum burst drive, but yeah, it's slipstream drive.
You're
It's not
saying
actually
it's too
warped.
fast for me to go blow him up.
Give me reason, science, diff. There's gonna be a diff one.
For me, or am I asking it on this?
Nadana, she sent me a thing.
Okay.
Assisted by ship sensor science.
1 second. I got it.
Oh, thank you. Yay, momentum. Captain, there are escape pods. I'm sending coordinates now.
Then it's right at this moment. The gal had you detect the Tiananmen drop out of warp.
Sail the Tiananmen.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the token. There it is. And on screen is one Commander Rel. Unless the
Commander
grass.
Rel. Yeah.
What?
I was just gonna say, Commander Rel. Is Captain DeGrasse all right?
He is. He's dealing with some other matters. He asked me to take the helm for the time being.
I see. We've detected escape pods. We should begin a joint recovery effort immediately. And not at risk of sounding like I'm bragging, our vessel is better equipped for combat, and I am rather concerned about lowering our shields in order to transport survivors aboard. Perhaps if the Tiananmen focuses on bringing aboard survivors, we can act as a screen vessel and engage any incoming targets.
Sounds like a plan, Captain. We got our med bay casualties.
Very well. I'll see what we can learn about this attacking vessel on our long-range scanners.
Okay, Captain.
Galahad out.
After he signs off, Nidan will speak up and say, there are about 140 life signs, Captain. It's about the complement of the ship. Not many casualties.
Finally, some good news. I had feared the worst.
Did too.
All right. So anything on the Galahad you want to do prior to me going to the Tiananmen to start beaming people on board?
Well, we'll be, like I said, remaining at like full action stations and acting as a screen vessel, so nothing can sneak up on us.
All right.
Nidan will try long-range sensors to see what, if anything, can be learned about the departing ship.
Anything in particular you're looking for?
Ship class, or its IFF transponder, or whatever the Starfleet equivalent of that is.
I will say that that's a little bit outside of your range already.
Okay.
How much faster is it than the Galahad?
Very. It's basically a slipstream. Like they're like
Yeah.
at least a sector away already.
That's cheating.
Can I
Come on,
detect
Morgan, fight me like a man.
Can I detect what direction they're headed in?
That I'll give you a roll for.
Cool.
It's going to be a difficult one. It's going to be a diff 5.
Okay.
Assisted by ship's sensors science.
Computers as a focus?
Yeah, I'll give you computers.
Okay.
But then yeah, you'll probably use ship's computers science then. You're trying to use a computer to extrapolate.
Yeah. I'm going to spend enough momentum to get 3 extra dice.
I believe it would be all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to succeed this roll. I want to know where he's headed.
I believe you owe me 1 more dice. Because you only rolled 4. There it is.
Yes.
And then ship's computers science.
Yep. Computers or sensors?
Computers.
Yes.
Computers are no help, but you gain a momentum back.
Nice.
Yeah, Prax, all the momentum.
Sorry.
Did they also blow up the Ranger? Wasn't the Ranger in tow?
The expedition dropped the Ranger.
Yeah.
Oh.
To try to boost speed to get to DS-17.
The Ranger's just kind of floating in space at the moment.
Captain, it seems the ship that is leaving is headed to one of the core planets. It could be Vulcan, Sol, or Andor.
Thank you for that, Lieutenant.
All right, now we'll head to the Tiananmen, where you got your orders to start doing the retrieval.
Rail will contact the captain and let him know that it seems the ship is destroyed, but there are survivors and we're bringing.
Thank you, Commander. I'll be right out. And yeah, DeGrasse will make his way out onto the bridge.
We'll vacate the chair.
For now, Commander. The expedition has been completely destroyed.
Seems that way, Captain. Most of our people seem to have survived, though, so there's that.
Good. How many survivors are there?
The other ship let us know how many survivors are.
Yeah, I would imagine you're sharing information.
Okay. About 140, Captain.
All right, Johnson, let's begin the retrieval process. Let's make sure that we get everybody aboard safe and sound.
All right, I'll just give you a single roll for this because transporting is pretty easy. I'll just make this a control engineering. It's called a Diff 4. This is by the ship's sensors engineering.
You want me to try that? Or?
Yes, please. Yeah, DeGrasse asked Johnson to manage that.
Okay. No, I gotta find the right sheet. There you go. You said Diff 4?
Yep, control engineering.
Oh, okay.
Just because I'm just making you do the one roll for all of them.
Alright. Let's do, determination. And, trust me, I'm an engineer.
That works for me.
And do not have transporters as a focus. So, spend momentum for a third die. for cautious engineering. And reroll 2.
I should just be able to reroll 1.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. You gain a momentum.
It's been a long day.
And yeah, it takes you a while because you're it's a lot of people trying to get and from their pods and whatnot. But it probably takes you maybe an hour or so to get everybody. But you eventually get everybody on board. There are people that are pretty severely injured. A lot of people with burns, things like that. So your sick bay starts getting to work as the casualties come on. But we will have one captain come onto the bridge. Or Captain Prax, where would you go once you're on board? We should probably start there.
Well, it depends. Like, are we like being held in like their shuttle bay for the emergency relief, or?
Shuttle bays, cargo bays. Probably a mess area for makeshift medical. They do have extended cargo shuttle bays, so I'm sure a lot of people are there.
Her first thought's gonna be to the crew, so she'll just make sure everyone's okay.
Okay, so you're in the shuttle bays, and okay. All right, but yeah, Johnson, you can report that everybody's on board.
Captain, everybody is safely on board.
Good work, Johnson. Thank you. Commander, if you wouldn't mind taking the bridge, I'm going to go down to see our new guys.
Captain. I'll watch the fort.
Yeah, so DeGrasse, you make your way to one of your shuttle bays, and you see the captain tending to some of her crew members.
He'll walk up to the captain. Captain, how you holding up?
She pats the crew on the back and kind of gives them a nod that they'll be okay, and walks up to motions for a private conversation.
He'll follow.
Ooh, I got just the.
Oh, nice. Glad you're safe, Captain.
This is why I put my stuff in storage for events like these.
Sad that we have to do that. And your daughter, you'll.
She's. I would hope she's safe. She was at one of the embassies on the planet's surface at Niwa 3, around DS, where DS-17 was.
He'll just put his head in his hands. DS-17 too.
Captain Morgan's alive.
He'll shoot up. You know this.
Yes, he opened a communication to my escape pod just to gloat at his victory.
Why? Did he say why he's done all of this?
That man is the ecomaniac. Always has been. Has to be at first at everything. Has to be the best. His crew has to be the best.
As you two are talking, you hear a knock on the shuttle door.
Ross will open it.
Sorry to interrupt.
Not at all. Your sight for sore eyes. Get in here.
Casey will step in looking a little weary.
I'm all right. Well, Captain Casey. A little shooken up, but it's not the first vessel I've lost.
But what happened? We were en route to Deep Space 17 when we registered reports of weapons fire.
While we were towing the Ranger, log range sensors picked up energy signature coming from DS-17. We presumed that it was weapons fire, so I ordered the ship to red alert and to drop the tow on the Ranger to give us a little extra burst of speed. Before we knew it, a large vessel dropped out of warp instantly, and that energy weapon that they used tore through our shields. And in an instant, we were in a warp core breach. Had no choice but to evacuate. I'm just glad that most of the crew made it out. It's not easy when I've been through many engagements, especially in the Dominion War, and we're counting my blessings that we made it out as well as we did. But that ship has to be stopped, and I don't think the Tiananmen and the Galahad can do it alone.
Certainly not if he won't turn and fight me like a man. Pardon me.
Captain Morgan, despite his unrumored time of death in our engagement not that long ago, is in command of that vessel. And needless to say, he has an agenda or was taking orders from somewhere else. Lieutenant Quinnix found some information something about a benefactor that was in charge of this whole entire operation. Not sure who the benefactor is, but they're the one responsible for creating these. They call them nuoids.
I should have known that Morgan wouldn't be smart enough to do this all on his own.
The question now is, who exactly can we trust at this point? I mean, we've lost a major star base, a top of the line Starfleet vessel. This has escalated way too far. But I don't know who we can go to for help from this. As it stands, we have 2 ships between us, and another highly damaged Defiant class floating somewhere in space. I don't know if the Sentry's still alive, but
All I know is Admiral Keller and Admiral Neo were on DS-17. It's unclear if they survived or not. Actually, no, wait.
actually, are we back en route toward Deep Space 17?
You're probably still hanging around the escape pods.
We should probably get underway toward Deep Space 17 as quickly as possible.
That's true. There's chance there could be more survivors there.
One thing's for sure, if we're going to tackle this, we need more ships, more captains on our side, ones we can trust.
I might know a few names.
I can say with confidence I trust everyone in my senior staff, and, well, I'm sure you would too if you would recognize several faces.
We need to get in touch with Task Force Charlie. They're the ones headed to, I believe, to assault the shipyard in the Ebon Expanse.
All right, well, sounds like a plan.
As it stands, Captain Prax, you know, you've been in this situation longer than I have. Galahad's at your disposal in this regard. And to you as well, Captain DeGrasse, if your medical facilities or require any assistance or you wish to transfer any of the crew, we can of course, make additional space aboard the Galahad. We're only carrying a few dozen prisoners at the moment.
Thanks, Casey. I may be sending a few your way.
I'd love to catch up more, but I think it's best that we get back underway. Maximum warp.
You look at Prax. I agree. Casey, if you'll just give us a quick moment.
Of course, I'll get back aboard the Galahad either way. I'm glad you're all right, and it was good to see you both. I wish it
Same
were
here,
under
bud.
better circumstances.
Likewise, Casey. When we're done with this, I think all the three of us need to grab a drink.
Wholeheartedly agreed.
Riel to Captain.
Yes.
Dropped out of warp and is hailing for you and Captain Casey, as well as Captain Prax if she survives.
Captain Prax and I will be on the bridge shortly.
Good to hear, Captain.
Grass out. It seems we're needed, Captain. And then he'll walk up to Prax and then silently give her a hug. And then turn and walk out of the shuttle.
She takes a deep breath and follows.
Grass will do the whole Picard walking onto the bridge while saying on screen sort of thing before he gets to the chair.
And on screen, you see this individual, a lieutenant.
Lieutenant Keeson.
Captain Prax. Just responding to the combat here. Glad to see you still in one piece.
Thank you.
By the way, Captain, your daughter is safe and sound.
She should be. She's on Niwa 3.
Oh, never mind. Disregard that then. I misunderstood something. Is there any way that the Artemis may lend assistance?
Unless you can get me a ship, I think we're headed back to DS-17 to render what aid we can there. She kind of looks to Gross.
That is the current plan, Lieutenant.
Luck would have it, Captain, I may be able to help you. My father, Admiral Kessin, is at the Dakan shipyards as we speak.
So the task force was successful?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, Captain. The shipyards are firmly within our control.
Ross will turn to Captain Frox. Sounds like we need to get you a new ride, Captain.
I thought they were under orders to destroy the shipyard, Lieutenant. Has something changed?
You would have to talk to the Admiral about that.
She motions to Gross to pause mute the communications.
He'll do so.
Yeah, is Casey on the bridge here?
Could be.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it came in right as he was leaving the shuttle, so I imagine he went up to the bridge.
One of those, hey, Casey, hold on.
Yeah. He'll go pat his sister on the shoulder. Ikido.
That's a little peculiar. They're under orders to destroy the station. If they haven't, the shipyard, if they haven't done so yet, something else is going on.
Yeah, I wonder what they're preserving it for. Well, they are offering you a ship, Captain.
At this point, we just need to maximize our firepower.
Motions to unmute.
Ross will unmute.
Very well, Lieutenants. What are the rescue efforts at DS-17?
The majority of Task Force Charlie has been recalled to assist in efforts there.
Very well. Then I guess we're following you to the shipyard.
Think that old bucket of bolts can keep up?
Ross will chuckle. We'll be just fine.
Very good. Artemis out.
Captain, if they were under orders to destroy the shipyard and preserved it, I mean, I guess their orders could have changed en route, but
Sounds like Admiral Keeson had a change of heart.
it sounds like to me.
guess we'll find out when we get there.
Do you have a history with the lieutenant? You seem to know each other.
She's Admiral Keeson's daughter. I only met her on DS-17. The expedition was recalled back to Seoul, and we transported Admiral Keeson and a Federation Council member, Yuzuru Neoni, to DS-17 for some sort of tour. Got to know Admiral Keeson a little bit during the trip, and he invited myself and Kesri to dinner with him and his daughter when her ship arrived. Why?
Well, ultimately, Captain, I was going to ask, do you trust her?
I trust her to do her job as a Starfleet officer, but I don't trust her. I don't know, on a personal level, I don't really have a whole lot of interaction with her to really comment on that. I mean, I get the feeling she could be trustworthy. It's a gut feeling.
GM, what class of ship was she in charge of?
Let me see if I can tell you. Prometheus.
Would it be unusual for a lieutenant to be captaining a Prometheus?
As luck would have it, she was the XO.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay, well, Prax trusts her, then I do as well. Helm, let's follow that ship.
Aye, sir. All right. I think actually this would probably be a good place to call this the end of Odyssey.